Turf Talk with Drew Miller.
On our last episode of the Woman in Turf Little League World Series, we actually filmed this one a couple weeks post the event to really soak in really what the Softball Little League World Series meant to so many, especially the members of the crew, and everything that they accomplished in that time to truly transform the beginning of a new era in our industry, to showcase their talents and showcase what can be for the future generations, and just truly one of the most empowering events and incredible moments in this industry. And we had Miss Kelly Lynch on of Pure Seed, and as many of you know, Kelly is one of the most energetic, kind, loving people out there, and she was the perfect person to talk to after the event, just talking about the incredible things that happened, the part she played in making it so special. We get into all the nicknames that she created and how everyone on the crew had such a great connection, and the incredible things that came from it. And it truly was such an awesome episode that you guys definitely don't want to miss. And we actually recorded this in our brand new studio, and it truly is a incredible work by our students. It was completely constructed by them, and it truly is a beautiful new setup that we're excited for the for years to come with this podcast. So we hope you enjoyed this episode of Tiger Turf Talk. All right, welcome back to the 95th episode of Tiger Turf Talk and the final episode of our Softball Little League World Series inaugural all-female grounds crew series. We have no one better than Miss Kelly Lynch, regional manager of the United States for Pure Seed, and one of the most energetic, kind, loving people that you know in this turfgrass industry. How are you doing this afternoon? Morning. Sorry.
I'm elated. Yeah, this morning. I'm elated, but just so you know, I don't manage the entire United States. I just manage the northern. US,
I told you I'd botch it.
Yeah. Let's not give anybody any ideas. Okay.
Nobody from the South caller, please. Okay. Just putting that out there. So how are you doing? We're about a week and a half after the event. I mean, it has been a whirlwind afterwards. What has it been like for you, just sort of taking it all in, being able to see everything on social media, being able to experience everything that you did down there? What has it been like for you to sort of, again, take a step back and breathe it all in?
You know, I think that's the continuum, right? When we have the privilege to be at a site so historic, and to be there together. And then the aftermath, what happens? Amazing videos are coming out and TikToks, and Meg Kruger just released a whole blog.
Yeah, I saw the blog.
Did you see it? Oh my God.
Really, really good.
Yeah. Love me some Mighty Meg Kruger. Wow. And we just call her Mighty now because she just gets it, you know, and I feel like the gift that we have is when we gather, right? And I don't think we truly comprehend when we're in the middle of it, how precious it is. And then we go back, not that our real lives are anything less robust, all right? But it's just a special space to be in. And I still, we get texts and a WhatsApp, and did you see this? And, you know, it's out on Twitter. And I was not big into social media before this Grass Sealing Society storm. And now it's amazing how much time you can spend in those areas, but great content. I think the big gift was, you know, just as it was the Softball Little League World Championships for them, it was also a world championship for all of us.
Absolutely. And Liz won't shut up about the WhatsApp. She's like, Miller, you on the WhatsApp? I'm like, no, I'm not on the WhatsApp. Okay, geez.
Well, it's so cool. Like, I'll walk into school and I'll come out of school with like 96 notifications. I'm like, have you seen this, Miller? Look how cool this is. And he's like, no. And I'm like, you're missing out.
On things that I'm not a part of. It's fine. It's no big deal.
But I think, Liz, that's the home run, right? You don't realize it, and then you're away from it even for a little bit, and it's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. And as we say, these are not tears. This is sunblock.
Absolutely.
Sunblock.
Of course. There was a ton of sunblock down at the event, you know?
There was a ton of sunblock. Yeah.
A lot of different things, a lot of different, times of sunblock,
Yes.
including me. I'm not gonna lie.
I caught you with sunblock in your eyes. Yeah.
He goes, let me take a picture of that. Have that for the next SF.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing it again. Let me take that.
I'm gonna need that. I think there were even tears in your eyes when you were personally carrying off one of the warm-up mats off of home plate.
No tears there. That was more pain,
Oh, okay. That was pain.
There you go. No, for sure. And I love how you said, again, coming out of the event, being able to sort of absorb all of it. What was it like being there with all of those females? Again, industry professionals, like unparalleled by anyone, including yourself, when it comes to just coming together as a group and being just a grounds crew. And I said it way too many times. If you guys have been listening for the last 9 days with all the podcasts, sorry for so many, but something that I loved about it was just another day at the office for all of you. It wasn't any different than, say, working at your own place, So what was it like for you being able to come together with the group and experience something that, again, was historic?
And I love that you share that. I don't think we totally comprehend even now. And I've been on the road for a couple more weeks with what I do professionally, but I would have to say, it's those that got us there as well. So a shout out to my CEO, Crystal Rose Fricker, another pioneer in the industry, but believing in what all of us are doing and supporting it. I think all of our home bases felt the same. They knew how important this was. And then for you, Drew, and for the crews that were there in the podcasts, in the Meg Krugers, I can't think of the guys' names that put together the video that just came out today.
Little League World Series did it, yeah.
Okay, perfect. And so I feel like there's, and then what happened with ESPN and Michelle Smith coming down, one of the calling the game, and then now she's down, handling a shovel and dragging the field and just having the time. And I think, our big goal was see it, be it. And I think Little League even played off of that and said, see her, be her. And now that's been seen around the world. And so for all of us, and then amongst us, right? I'm probably the most senior. I'm north of 50, and then
50
16
years young. 50 years young.
Yeah, 50 years young. Well, they keep me young. I can't keep up with them.
I hear you.
And so I think that was a really robust combination of we called ourselves the OGs and then the new Gs. And then when Maritza called the ball on the championship day and we just became the Gs, I think that was, I think it summed it up in terms of what our intentions are. It's just all of us together, and we have so much to learn. I can guarantee you this: I learned way more from the younger generation than I shared with them, because they made me better every day, and I made sure that they knew that because I honestly did not think that I would see this in my professional career.
Absolutely. I mean, when I got the call, I think Son called me probably a month before the event looking for people. And I was just like, this is just so cool, and then Chris gave me a call the following week about coming down and doing the podcast. I was just like, this is just going to be phenomenal, and I'm just so excited to be a part of it.
And you were working double time, brother. You were out there with us doing whatever you needed, then back running the show.
And it was funny because I was like, do I go out? Do I stay? Do I which way do I do it? Like, what's going on? Because I didn't want to, like, I guess I was like, they're gonna be like, wow, look at that female with that beard out there. Gosh, like, that's impressive stuff. I'm gonna be like, no, not a female. It's okay. I'll leave.
Rocked it.
I'll leave now. But what was it like for you being, again, one of the crew, but at the same time being able to have Pure Seed as one of the incredible contributors to what was making it possible as a sponsor of the event?
Well, and I think that goes back to why I wanted to work with Crystal and Pure Seed. And Dr. Melody Frazier runs our North Carolina research farm. We're a very diverse company. And that's why I wanted to be a part of Crystal's team and work with her and for her. But they gave us privilege, right? All of our companies that were there, and I could use Odie's and Nina, I could use Moat's group and Amy, and those of us that are in the field doing these things, plus the Sun Rose lines and all the what happens when Sun shows up, because she's a pretty special gal, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
And then we have to also really give a shout out to Kimberly Gard, because it was really Kimberly Gard and Troy Flanagan at the U.S. Women's Open Championship, the 76th at the Olympic Club, that started all of this. And we will forever be grateful not only to Troy for his vision and Kimberly for her tireless efforts to push things forward. And then again, we were at Pine Needles this year with David and his crew, another historic moment. And then when Sun and Kimberly said, "Hey, what's next?" and let's take it to sports fields. And then and Chris Ball, you know how much we love Chris Ball as a champion and certainly as a pioneer in terms of bringing this to the sports field side. And then away we go. And so I feel like there's so many champions, whether it be a Crystal or others that have come before us. I think now, and I just had the privilege to talk to Kimberly Gard yesterday, and if I might share, she said from her lens, it was so powerful to see the global response and all of the girl dads out there, right? And she said that I'm paraphrasing for her, but she said to really see the difference of see it, be it. And here are all these girl dads that have these young kiddos coming up, these young ladies coming up through the ranks, and now they got a front row seat, because at the Opens we were kind of behind the scenes, right? A lot of this was happening in the dark and after hours. Sure. You're not on the golf course.
Literally after hours in the dark.
Literally. Those were some 20-hour days. And so the unique thing with having ESPN and broadcast, and it would be picking us up in between games, and the athletes were watching in between games. And I think that's what her lens shared with us, was that see it, be it looks different on the sports field side, because you're actually physically in the lens.
Absolutely. And it was, Sun tweeted it today. It was something about her story instead of history. I was like,
her story.
It's just so cool. Again, to like take note of that, like most people, like just history, you don't really recognize that little tidbit in there, and for her to take that. And again, everything that you guys did, when you talk about powerful, being able to be there and see it firsthand and to, again, experience it right there, it was just unbelievable. And again, like knowing everyone, being friends with a lot of the crew already, it was just so incredible, because I was able to take a step back and look at the crowd and see their reaction to, again, an all-female crew, talking to the people at ESPN while you guys are out there working. And just, they're like, this is truly just a historic moment in this, again, industry, in sports as a whole. I don't think there's been anything like commentator, all female commentary or anything like that when it comes to any event ever. When you're talking about ESPN putting something together, no one's done this before, which I think that holds so much weight that many people don't really recognize, which that's why I wanted to come down and be able to do the podcast, was to be able to say, hey guys, you need to take note of this, because this is something that has never happened before and truly will transform the future of this industry. So I can't thank you enough for everything that you did to get that going, especially with, again, Pure Seed being a sponsor and you just being there, being, again, sort of the heart and soul of the crew, something that I want to get into because you do a lot of this and I still don't have it. It's fine. I'll be fine. The nicknames that you give out are iconic. Okay. We have Snap and Chat, which we had them on 2 episodes ago. It was the funniest story. They're like, I didn't know Megan and Haley's name for the first day. They're like, oh, that's Snap and Chat. I'm like, And what is that? Like, what are we talking about? What was that? Again, sort of coming up with all these names and everything that goes into, again, what the culture of this crew really is.
I love that, Drew. And I'm still working on yours. It'll come to me. I like the new studio. This is helping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Hopefully it's a good thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's evolving, but it has to be, intentional. It has to be poignant. And really the history of it is team building. So I coached Division I athletics for many years, and 3 different sports, and each time, and I think it's just always been, the way things are. It was just a bonding. It's a team building. It's a uniqueness, in terms of identifying something that is associated with that person. And so it's always, I just have never not done that. I think it came from my dad, and that's what he did. So I would, and rest in peace. My dad's nickname was Luck. His real name was Gary. And I think that's, we just always called him Luck. And my brothers had many names, but the one that's really stuck was Linta, because one of his best buddies couldn't pronounce our last name. And so, awesome. Yeah, so it just kind of evolved. And then coaching all those years, in fact, even now, most of those athletes still call each other by their nicknames. It's rare to hear. Right? Yeah, it's rare to hear somebody, somebody's real name. So that's the origin. And then Snap and Chat was perfect because we all flew in late. I ended up flying in late as well, and ended up waiting and picking them up at the airport. And then they were so excited to be there because their flights had just been dismal. And
they had the, of course, 4-hour layover that didn't work.
Yeah. And so, but it was great. We had a great ride. I don't even know where that hour and a half went to Greenville. And during that time, we were talking about like Twitter or Instagram. They're like, "Oh no, we're totally Snapchat." And I'm like, "Oh, then your Snap and your Chat totally." And they loved it. And so away we went. And so some just evolved like that, like Laser Maritza.
Yeah.
Yep. Laser just was, she almost nicknamed herself because she shoots lasers, right? And so, and I think it's fun because then, like you said, there's a different association with that person. Now, I did learn through some loving coaching by Brandon at the U.S. Women's Open, the first one, that you have to actually, it's proper to ask permission if you've come along a nickname for someone, that it really is important that they agree upon it. So I learned I'm coachable.
Here's my thing. Sorry, Brandon, but like, come on. Nicknames are fun when they come, something big happens. It's not like maybe it was funny and they don't want to be remembered by it, but it's just a great nickname.
Yeah.
Squeaky over here,
Yeah, Squeaky. So I was going to mention, so Liz, I think it taken, she was a little quiet, and now I think here we are sitting in the same room, Liz, and I am the eldest that was on the team. You were the youngest was on the team. And so at one point I was like, we should do the elder younger interview, and here we are.
Yeah.
But Liz, how did you get Squeak? You have to share with us.
Oh. Well, I came to the World Series with these awesome shoes called Vans that were a little torn apart, but
in 3 pieces.
Butter and Toast were just so kind and actually got me a pair of the new boots, the
Extra tough
boots, and I was in love.
Seriously,
with them.
You guys should sponsor this event next year.
I reached out to him actually before the event and said, "Hey, this is the one." So let's reach out again with your power, Drew.
Yeah.
I don't know about power. I wish. Sorry,
so what happened, Liz?
So I was wearing my boots, and they might be a little big, but I love them, and they were a little bit squeaky. So every time I walked, it was just a new little squeak. And then Kelly comes up and goes, "I figured it out. Your nickname. You're Squeaky."
And we also had the fact that the bases were already squeaky clean after the first 30 minutes of squeaking.
Yes. And I think bass guy Brian said...
Bass guy Brian was very upset. I'll be honest with you. Base guy Brian's like, they've kicked me off my bases, and it's and Jake's like, I know it's killing you. He's like, nah, I'm okay.
I was giving him a well-deserved break.
And I think his compliment was that you were the best base cleaner ever, including the edges. So he did give you a shout out there.
Aw.
Yeah.
Brian the base guy, everybody.
So squeak it is.
I love his nickname too, Brian the base guy.
Base guy Brian. Yeah.
Base guy Brian. Very nice.
I love it.
Now, even before this event, you actually hosted the Women's in Turf lunch at SFMA, which you had such a big impact on my girls that were there. It was the highlight of their trip, which there was a lot of firsts in that trip. So again, I know Gina Butler, she's a PE teacher here, but she was mom of Barrett. She apparently was the talk of the town for SFMA. It wasn't just the women's lunch; it was just everywhere. And I was like, "Oh, I met your mom in the group." I was like, "Yeah, shocker." I think she was like a pinball around the entire conference. So, but I can't thank you enough for that. When it comes to, again, Carly and Barrett, they talked about you. I talked to Carly last week. She's a soccer player now. She was talking about her trip. I said, I saw Kelly, and she's like, "Did you say hi for me?" I'm like, yes, I did. So, again, it's stuff like that you have been such a big part of when it comes to empowering women and everything in this industry. What has it been like for you to be sort of that figure and that person to the women in this industry? And again, with this event, other events before this, how has it been sort of, again, being a part of such a tight-knit group inside of what is a tight-knit industry?
And I love that you asked that because, like I said, I didn't really think I would see this in my professional career. I was the only gal in the room for most of my career, which I love because I love the guys, and it's been I've had a robust, very, very cool career. And it's all based for me around golf, but essentially really sports turf, sports fields, people. And I think that was my privilege. I wanted to play golf. This could have gone very differently had I not been injured. Right. And so I didn't really have a plan.
We would have been cheering you on.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you. Right. And so I think it was really that after my second shoulder surgery that I realized that I wasn't going to play on tour. And then ironically, what probably would have been the biggest down of my life really became the most rewarding, because it led me to coaching Division I. It led me to coaching professionally. It led me into all kinds of really cool environments. And then essentially I was a golf professional at a country club, and I got recruited by the grass seed industry to come over to the professional turf side. And that's really what changed. I think coaching was incredibly rewarding. And I have so many great athletes and success stories and things that have come. In fact, I'm going back to Clemson at the end of the month. One of my former rowers is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. And so I look at, yes. And then I think, wow, when did I get to be that old? Like this, it doesn't, And so, but I think the rewarding part comes from this conversation, Drew and Liz. I think the gift that we have, I just happen to have a front row seat because with the travels and then the seed industry, I would find the one Liz in the room and high five you and be like, how come we don't know each other? And I called it the Grass Sealing Society way back in the day, just saying, hey, this is great, but while we're here, we're going to gather and have lunch or grab a coffee and just get to know each other. And that network what had it grown and grown and grown over the last 8 years now, to see it culminate in things like the US Women's Opens and the Softball Little League World Series, and some of the things that we're in the process of. We're in the process of developing a 501c3 and a foundation, and so that we can continue this the momentum, but also be intentional with helping women understand what the opportunities are in the industry, and then helping them get to where they want to go. And I think we all I think Liz has probably 40 jobs lined up already, whatever she wants to do.
I wonder, Liz.
Just a couple.
Right. I think we're all like, now we're all negotiating, like who's going to make the first offer. You know, she's going to need an agent, I think.
I will not be that person. Do not call me. I already get calls.
Right. And then I think same would go with Snap and Chat and
they got 2 offers during the podcast. Actually, Leah offered Megan, and I don't know if it's going to happen. I can call Leah and see, but I was talking to Haley. I think it was before. It might have been during, but she wants to build fields. So I was like,
awesome.
well, let's put you in contact with Chad Price and Chris Hecton down at Carolina Green. And she was like, can I have the number now? I was like, sure. if you want, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you bring up a great point, because I think the event specifically, you guys did a phenomenal job of highlighting the younger generation, because there were so many young like Liz, and then there were some, again, like the Leahs, the Maritzas, the Morgans, who have been in it for a while, but not enough for it to be, again, sort of have that predominant, like, hey, I've been around for a while type moment, and you guys you did everything for them. And I can't thank you enough for all you did for Liz and Julie and obviously everybody. But again, it was just awesome because there were so many levels to it, and I keep talking about each of them, but there were so many levels that we got to see in this event. And again, I can't get over it. I'm still trying to get used to it,
I think is that some sunblock in your eyes, Drew?
No, I swear.
Yes.
I'm looking up at the eye light. You can't see.
Yeah.
No.
But I think with you as a champion, right? And you and Chris and Jake had front row seats, and Brian, those were and Casey. And then, but you realize the things that happen naturally with a group of guys, right? Because you're always typically the group of guys. And I think what we're realizing is if you put those right scenarios together, it happens naturally. And I love that you shared the younger and the older generation combo and the mids. We really had the young, the mids, and the elders, right?
The MGs.
What's that?
The MGs.
Yeah, the MGs. But I think the cool thing was, and I had the privilege to be the front row seat when Liz and Bryn and Liz, Bryn, Holly, Julie, Megan,
Haley,
5 went over to East Carolina and prepped that field from
nothing to everything. And I was the one front row seat watching just video. I was proud mama. And so was Mama Dawn. And we have to give Mama Dawn a shout out because was she instrumental in all of the things that we did, especially capturing so many moments. So shout out to you, Mama. We love you. But I think that what you shared was the pivotal piece, right? So we had a lot of knowledge to share, but I can guarantee you we all learned more from the young than we did perhaps pass on to them. And I think the most pivotal moment, at least for me personally, was the night before the championship games. Maritza came back down. We were downstairs gathered that evening, and she had gone to bed, came back down and said, hey, I think it's time. I think I'd like to call the ball tomorrow. And I'd like this, the younger generation to see what it's from my lens, and I want to help them as much as I possibly can. And I want the older generation to take a back seat, and I want you to come alongside and we'll all work together. But I think it could look very differently. Now, we, of course, this is not sunblock, but of course, that's not sunblock. It's not. Yeah.
But of course, that's that moment where you're so proud, because you can't put that on someone. You can't say, okay, you're up, it's your turn. It has to happen organically. And I think that for me was probably one of the most pivotal moments of the week. And then it was just fun for us to literally just be like, okay, what do you need? How do we do that? And where do you want us? And it was just absolutely poetic. And I don't know how it was from the Nugie's lens, but I can tell you, I can I can absolutely guarantee you that we are in great hands. And that we were joking around, but the future's so bright, we do have to wear shades. And so if I had a pair right here, I would put them on right now.
No, for sure. And that's the other thing is that, I mean, when it comes to like the kids that, again, I shouldn't say kids, the younger people, like Haley had never done anything sports turf related ever before that event.
Wow.
And Megan only had the super regional for Texas A&M that she helped out. So she had a very little amount. Liz has done stuff in our classroom and has had enough experience. But again, when it comes to the overall, like their preparedness and the journey they had to get from, again, not really having any background on like game day, anything, to being able to run that championship game. I talked to Maritza afterwards and she said it was just one of the greatest moments to just see them sort of take on everything and take on all of, again, the OGs sort of personas and their jobs and everything that they were doing. I'm sad I missed it, but again, it was just incredible to hear from someone firsthand about, again, taking sort of the mantle and bringing it on. And again, the significance of that game. I mean, championship Monday, sorry, I say Sunday, but championship Monday, you know, of all the games to choose to do it for, it was the biggest one and it was the biggest moment. So again, things like that, I cannot thank you and the rest, Son, Amy, all of them. Like, it was such a cool experience with that. And I was so happy to see it happen for them too. Cause Amy had been talking about how she never ever in 100 million years thought this would ever happen in her lifetime, you know, and being able to have her sort of, again, experience this and just the incredible, again, I'm not crying or anything, the incredible work of everyone and how far they've come. I mean, Son just had her 18th anniversary at the North Complex. Sorry, Son. Sorry. At her place of work. Like, those are big feats and a long period of time to have this just happen now, you know? So again, it's just incredible to see and be a part of. I do sort of want to shift because we've heard parts of your journey and it's been really cool to hear. Actually, I did not know you were a professional and college coach and everything that went with that. Yeah. What was it like sort of getting to this point in the turf industry and where you sort of, again, being a player or a golfer and a coach and all different things?
Yeah. You know, if as I look back now, if you would have told me this was my career path, I would have believed you to some extent, but really having been a top level athlete, having coached Division I athletics, coached professional athletics, really, and it's a windy road. I could throw a bunch more there. We'd be like, wow, when have you had time to do those things? But I think the gift is that we all can learn, right? And my undergrad was business administration, marketing, and management. Then I went to grad school for organizational leadership and student affairs and counseling. Well, all of those things. So I do not have an agronomy background, right? But I'm a Class A PGA. So I'm a rare female card carrying to this day, Class A PGA, meaning when I turned pro at 18 early. And I became a member of the men's fraternal organization. And even to this day, there aren't very many Class A female PGA out there. There are a lot of LPGA out there now, which I admire. And then there's degrees that you can attain, professional golf management. But none of that was in play many years ago when I turned pro. And so I actually went through my undergrad and the PGA simultaneously. So I was a golf professional during my undergrad years. And my intention was still to play. I was injured my freshman year, senior year in high school, and then have had 3 major shoulder surgeries that kept me from playing full time, which is okay. Now that I look at it, and had I not been a director of golf at a country club, so I had finally made it. I was the big boss, and I got recruited by a seed company thinking that a gal that understood the game and understood people really would be a good fit. And that changed my life. And I had the absolute privilege to work with Dr. Leah Brillman. Many of you know her as the grass goddess. And she really, if I have to look at a pivotal person in my life, was Dr. Leah. actually helped me fall in love with the grass seed industry, but also helped me become. I could go into her office and she could just told me the answer. But if any of you know Dr. Leah Brillman, she would be like, "Ooh, good question. Sit down. Let's look at the research, right?" And so she really helped me understand that where to find the knowledge and who to lean on for the knowledge. And I always say it's not me standing here. It's all those standing here with me that you can't see. And I think that's really what my message would be. If you're willing and want to learn, there's so many amazing things that we can do, and especially across this industry. And I've been on both sides of it as an athlete, as on the golf side, and now on the sports field and golf and etc. And I think that it's just a great space. And we talk about there's only 1.7% in the GCSAA that are women on the golf side, and there's 4% on the SFMA that are female. Women.
Really?
And so
I said winning. We got more.
Winning, right? And so now if we've opened that door for a Liz and for a Julie and for a Megan, whomever it is, then what a great opportunity. I didn't know these things existed when I was going through my undergrad. And my lens was very different at the time. But now if we can create opportunities for the next gen and help them understand this is a robust industry where you have lots of opportunities. And then hopefully we grow that number across the board. And I have to say, we were at, when we were at the Pine Needles, some of the GCSAA brass were there. And they're very intentional with it as well, because why would we be ignoring essentially half the population in terms of workforce and opportunity when all we need to do is educate? And so I think this is a great front row seat to what that opportunity looks like.
Yeah, I mean, with all of it, it just, again, all the players at the event saw it firsthand.
Yeah.
Parents, family. Chris said that he saw someone from 25 years ago that he hadn't seen since then. Like things like that and such. And again, it's not a small event in any way, shape, or form, but again, bringing that to the next level, bringing that to a US Open like you guys did, things like that, where again, front news, everything, and we're like, wait a second, this is a job, this is something we can do. And even further, again, with what you do, being again a Pure Seed representative, being able to bring the whole, again, one of the biggest things that again, underlying everything in our industry is genetics, because it is the solution to all of our problems when you look at it firsthand. We got people in the government, you're not allowed to use fertilizer, you're not allowed to use pesticides, you're not allowed to do this. Well, the only way we're going to combat that is through the genetics that you guys are coming up with. And again, being able to combat those things without actually using any herbicide, without using any extra water or things like that. Being able to bring that to the forefront will change this industry forever. And that's what you guys did. So again, I can't thank you enough. I'm going to keep saying that. But what has it been like for you at Pure Seed? Again, taking what you've learned as a player, being able to learn about the genetics to be able to, again, tell everyone how this is going to change everything for you on your course or on your field or on your greens, because there are so many different factors, especially like we talked about, your guys' farm is out in Oregon, being able to take all of that and distribute, again, probably worldwide when it comes to Pure Seed, and have that impact for our industry.
And I love that you asked that question, because it is about, the disease resistance, the drought tolerance, the newer genetics. And this is why working with Crystal and Dr. Melody Frazier, we also have a research farm in North Carolina. And then we have cooperators all over the world, not only on the university side, but the private side. And that's really what drives what we do. The solutions, in addition to, management practices and looking for ways to help superintendents or sports field managers, or even your yard. We have a little competition in my neighborhood around here.
Hey.
And I'm not going to say I'm not out there after dark, working my magic, but the neighbors are jealous. But a lot of it's our genetics. And so I think that as we move into the next stage, And actually, I have a quick story I have to tell you.
Oh, great.
So I just had the privilege to travel with Crystal, my CEO and our chief breeder. And she has golf courses with her grass seed on them all over the world. And when I came to work for her probably 5+ years ago now, she did not play much golf, if any.
Mhm.
And so one of my all-time bucket list goals was for her to play more golf, and then for her to play golf on one of her golf courses that have all our grass seed on it. And that just happened this last week. We were
That's
in
so
Indianapolis,
awesome.
and for her to get to see it firsthand, and then for her to visit with superintendents in different places, and for them to give her feedback on why they love her grass and how much the difference that it's made, and et cetera. And so I think when you can experience firsthand, and I think we talked about that, not only from the genetic side, but from what's happening around the globe, and the need for healthy environments, and grass certainly is a huge contributor to a healthier planet.
That had to be such a cool moment.
Oh man, bucket
being able to
list.
see that. Yeah, that had to be really awesome.
Yeah. So a shout out to Chad Allen at Chatham Hills Country Club for making it all possible, because we caught him on a day that he wasn't expecting us, and it just worked out. It's certainly one of my career highlights thus far.
That's so cool. I'm seeing on your background there are a couple things that is very intriguing. The questions have been running in my head already. I mean, I don't know what to make of the peanut butter with the cape.
Yeah.
Let's start with the peanut butter with the cape. Care to explain why he's standing in a bunker?
Yes. And so this is actually, this goes back to some different speaking engagements, but this is kind of a culmination of things. But in the peanut butter story goes like this. In life, we all get one jar of peanut butter. And on a day like today, we share peanut butter back and forth, right? We have commonalities. We are excited about what we're doing, and we share that information back and forth and fill each other up, right? There have been times, especially in my life, where I gave a lot of my peanut butter away. And now I've learned that the more peanut butter I gave away and the more peanut butter that I didn't receive or wasn't available to receive, i.e. the peanut butter thieves out there, you might know a couple.
Not one of them. I'm not 100% sure, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you might, you'll know. And then you look down and one day you realize you're empty, and you look up and you realize your peanut butter's gone, and so are the peanut butter thieves. And so the idea is we all need to be full, and we're all responsible for keeping our peanut butter full. And there are going to be times where you need to give more peanut butter than you can receive, and vice versa. But what I learned over the years is that if I'm intentional on keeping my peanut butter full, and that could be my spiritual, emotional, physical, all of those pieces, and just in my day-to-day. But at the same time, I also had to learn to receive peanut butter. So I was the queen of being there for everybody and giving it all away. And I pursued careers that were very receptive of that, especially coaching Division I athletics. And I realized that it was critical for me to remain full, and for me to align myself with those that want to share their peanut butter, and that it's okay to protect your own peanut butter. If you recognize a peanut butter thief, move on. That would be my words of wisdom.
Our producer right over here is a peanut butter thief. I'm calling it right now.
Wow, I've never had one called out right in the room there.
No, I'm just kidding. She's awesome. I'm just messing with her. And now we have the quote, which I see part of. I don't see the whole thing, but.
Okay, it's basically never allow another situation, person, event, or circumstance to determine the quality of your existence or the depth of your joy. Meaning that we all get into spaces that we have to give somebody else permission to make us feel less than, to make us feel diminished in any way or really to dim your light. And unfortunately, being a very young professional, but very ahead of my time, having turned pro at 18 and having my Class A and my undergrad done at the same time, I was young, but it wasn't that I wasn't ready. I just was overlooked for a lot of things because of being female and because of being young. And so I really learned that essentially everyone deserves that seat at the table. And if you're ready and you are prepared, then that space is yours. And yes, I might have had to work twice as hard. I may have had to do, maybe had a different path in order to get the big job, or had to wait your turn type of scenario where those things potentially should have been my opportunities. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it made me better. It made me stronger. It made me excellent at negotiating. It made me excellent at feeling comfortable in any space. Because just as the next person had that opportunity to be there, so is that my opportunity to be there. And now I try to coach people that's your seat at the table as well. Own it. Be there. And if somebody tries to diminish you, steal your peanut butter, dim your light, that's on them, not on you. And I've been told, to calm it down and to not high five or to not do certain things. And I look back on that now and think, oh, that was somebody essentially dimming my light so that their light wasn't impacted. And you know me, I'm going to lift everybody around me up. And my hashtag is get in, it'll be fun. I promise. It might not be completely orthodox, but my goal is to just help people get where they're going and enjoy the journey and take their seat at the table.
I love that because it relates to so many of the talks I had with the girls there, and it was, I'm going to point Leah out because it was funny. She had a moment in hers where she was talking about her obsession with her field and her irrigation, and she posted it on her story. I was like, all right, you took pride in it. I got to give you props, and to, again, just own everything that she is. And for all of you to, again, take on what is, again, not really any pressure situation really for you, but the amount of pressure that came with that event. And you guys just kicked ass, pardon my French, but
yeah,
again, I do want to go back towards it because I didn't tell Liz this, but we are going to ask her some questions, even though she is the co-host.
Oh gosh,
because she's scared apparently of talking. Liz, what was it like to be like a last minute addition? Like literally, I asked Sun the week before because we actually were constructing this room, and I got a phone call, and on the phone she heard me say I'm going to be doing a podcast at the Softball League World Series at the first all-female grounds. So she was like, can I come?
I was sitting here with my mouth open, like,
hey,
hold on.
Dakota was there. She was like, "Whoa, what about me?" Sorry, go ahead.
It was definitely very scary considering I was like the few days before I was like, should I watch YouTube videos to make sure I'm like up on all of my groundskeeping skills?
That just means I'm a bad teacher. Oh, man. All right, I'm just gonna walk off the set now. First podcast.
Oh, that was awesome, Liz.
Thanks, Kelly. I appreciate it.
I think what she meant was watch YouTube videos of your classes teaching the back. I think that's what she meant.
Thank you. I appreciate the save there.
Yeah, I think that was it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
There are some videos, during virtual time that are very instructive.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But
well, Liz, wait, I have one question for you though. It was never a question in your mind of I'm going. It was how am I going, right?
Yes. So I was always like, I'm gonna do everything I can to make this happen, whether it's me driving from our house or somewhere else, or
your mother was not happy about you with that.
I was like, I'll drive down by myself, whatever it takes to get there. I just wanted to be there so badly to see this. And like, I ended up just staying with like a family friend, which worked out great. But
did it?
It did. But
Oh gosh.
I mean, I think like that was the biggest thing was like, doesn't matter what I have to do. I just want to be there. Even though I didn't know the significance of the event at the time.
So being there, what was it like to again be able to meet Kelly and be able to meet all these incredible people that took you in such a way that no one really has ever experienced that before in this industry?
It was just incredible. Like from the moment that I met Sun, she was like just the kindest person. And she's like, okay, tell me about yourself. And then we just exchanged stories. And it was great because like I got a bunch of information from her, but it also still felt like we were like friends, you know? Like, and when I walked into the trailer, she introduced me to everyone and then she's like, why are you so quiet? Like speak up. And I think like that's definitely something I wish I would have done more is like ask people more questions about their stories when we're sitting in the trailer. But I was like, it was just crazy to be there and to sit in that room with all these amazing people who I'm like, wait, I like have seen this person on social media and like I know that they're really cool. And like when we go out to the field, they know what they're doing. So like I can use them as an example to watch. So that way when I go out, I can know what I'm doing.
They all like her better than me now. Whatever.
Maybe a little.
Normal things in my life, you know.
That's a compliment to you, Drew.
I'm glad. the YouTube figuring out how to do things. Yeah, it's great. No, I'll tell you a funny story because again, she mentioned it on her podcast, but this one put a letter to Leah in a care package from us. Again, Leah goes, "Did you read this?" I was like, "No. Why would I read it?"
I told him like
personal
you are
note.
not allowed to do this.
Yeah, and I'm a person of my word. Okay, I don't go snooping in things that aren't mine. But she calls me in tears. Sunblock. She had a bunch.
Sunblock.
Sunblock to the point of burning like her like esophagus, crying she goes, "Did you read this?" I'm like, "No." And she goes, "She's making my heart melt." I'm like, okay, that's great. What did she say exactly? Did she say to make that happen? She's like, well, she was talking about how this someday might be something I want to do. And you showed me that. And it was like, that's what it's all about, you know? And I hate to use you as the example, but again, that's why I do what I do is to make those connections and to be able to bring students that are again of an age of Liz is 16 years old, freshly 16 or something. I don't know. To be able to see people like that, like Aaliyah, like you, and make those connections like, okay, well, my life could be this one day if I really wanted it to be. So sorry to put you on the spot like that, but I mean, you took the ball and ran with it, making me look like crap. That's what
Right.
I
Well, and Liz, what made you so brave? What was it? Because we all, y'all, whatever you want, that's where somebody's going to help you in this. You've got like a big.
You're like 20 years ahead compared to everyone else.
Yeah, you are way ahead of the game.
I just felt so comfortable. Like everyone was so welcoming that I was like, okay, like I can do this. Like they make me believe in myself. And so it's definitely the environment of just like welcoming women, people here to just support you. And if you fail, it's okay. Cause like you'll pick us up and we'll keep going.
Absolutely. And of course, now we all want to know what you wrote to Leah.
All right. Let's go get the note. Where is it?
You have it?
No, I don't have. Why would it's a personal note? Why does everybody think I'm a bad person?
But I think, and I could share that too, from Jake's perspective. You impacted all of us so across the board. Just your work ethic, your positivity, you're brave. You didn't know anyone, and yet here you are. And even bass guy Brian, like here you are.
You made him get off the bases. That's something.
Yeah, like,
I gotta tell you,
this. I totally got this.
It was like a puppy dog watching
yeah,
like his best friend be taken or something. I was like, Liz, you gotta get off the bags. Like,
and then the next day when you're gone or whenever you had to leave, then he's sending you a video telling you how much he missed you, and how much he appreciated your attention to detail.
When I got that video, I was like, I had a little bit of sunblock, not gonna lie.
Okay.
I
hadn't heard that one yet. There's no sunblock, I swear.
Oh, it's quite powerful because he's a man of very few words, and to get that message, and then I think all of the pieces, but to realize that you're not alone. And I think that's for a lot of us that are the OG, the elder, we were, and it was fine, but it was just different. And I think now that you know how big your network is, you know, you can reach out to Leah at any time, you know, you can reach out to me at all of us. And then with Drew, and I think we'd all be remiss without you being a champion and you creating this really cool connection, and not only in what you do in your teaching and these YouTube videos, apparently, but also in your support and what that looks like. And when we have champions that are alongside us, and then our future champions, like yourself, Liz, I think that's the gift, right? This is a whole new time and space. And what is it going to look like when Liz is my age? And what will that look like through your lens? Whatever parts of this you choose to take with you, Liz, I think that's the gift moving forward, right? You know, you have lots of opportunity. And remind me what you're studying now, because you found turf grass, right? As not realizing that it existed, or help me understand the background.
Well, both of my brothers were actually in the program, and I've seen them do lots of things through the program that I was like, oh, that is so cool. And I've always been interested in it. But I think it was sophomore year, during the end of the year, when we were working more on baseball, that I was like, this is really cool. I want to see more of this. And it's just getting to have more conversations about it with Miller and watching more TikToks from Leah was what really got my brain turning. I was like, okay, this is an actual career that I could do.
She's obsessed with Leah. That's
I'm so obsessed with Leah. Sitting there,
we all are.
I was
she walks in. She walks in. She goes, "Did you see her TikTok?" I'm like, "No." What do you want from me, Leah? The only TikToks I really see are the ones that she posts on the other websites or whatever. I don't follow TikTok that well. But no, she came in and she. What was it, Undefeated or whatever?
Oh yeah, the Undefeated she posted.
Again, she must have put hours into that video, but Leah did Undefeated over her grounds crew garage door, and she has a whole speech about how the grounds crew's undefeated and everything, and it's very inspiring. It very much is. She comes in, she's like, "Can we do it over our door?" I'm like, "Why not? Fine." But no, again, seeing the excitement and everything, and there's a situation with her brother that I never push anyone into turf anymore, but with everything, I found out the week before the call with Sun that she was actually very interested, but she's always been dedicated to the program as a freshman and a sophomore. It was, again, COVID sort of messed up that sort of time frame and whatnot, but her going into her junior year, being able to do this is something that, again, I never thought would ever happen. I didn't think it'd be a possibility, let alone a high schooler being able to go to an event like this, So yeah, and it's really cool. Our county has really embraced it as well. There's a couple articles coming out, and then they're going to have, hopefully both of us, I'm going, but I'm going to tell them to let Liz come, but to the school board meeting to sort of highlight again the event and the significance of what you guys did. So it's really cool.
And I like what you just shared about that, Drew, because with you as an advocate and a champion, when those opportunities, whether it's a school board or more students and promoting and how to get in, right? And I think you're doing an epic job of making sure that, because of your voice and Tiger Turf Talk and all these different avenues, you're bringing a lot of that to light that wouldn't normally be out there. So bravo.
I appreciate that.
And I think, Liz, you could echo that as well, right? You didn't know some of these things moving forward, and now you're never going to not know that. That was my first softball Little League World Series, and you're 40 years my youth-ish, 40-ish, not quite. And here you are.
Young.
That was your first, right?
Yeah.
Say that again, Drew.
Years young, you, not her.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I like to. Yeah. If I could be cryogenically frozen, I think this is probably my max at this point. But Liz, I think that's pretty cool. and I guarantee you, if you ever wanted to go visit Leah or any of us and visit research farms or visit the sports fields or golf course, whatever you want to do, all you have to do is ask, and people will find a way. Tell your mom to buckle up because she's going to be traveling.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, that's definitely something that I think it was Maritza pointed out when we were on the field. She was like, it was when she made me do the broom in between third inning and fourth. And she's like, you're hating me in this moment. I know you are, but you're always going to remember this moment when you did your first broom and that I forced you to do it.
Love you, Maritza.
Love her. Oh,
she dragged you on the drag.
Yeah, she literally did. She's like, get on, you're going on the field now. I was like, but like I will always remember that. And the first time being on the hose and flooding the infield, like that was just something I'm always gonna remember. Even if I don't go into turf, which I hope I do, but I will always have these amazing memories.
And then what do you think that you would pass along from those initial memories? When you're in Maritza or Leah's position, and now you've got another set of new G's coming on board.
We're gonna force the little Liz's of the world to do, Liz.
Yeah,
well, yeah, I'm gonna force them to be like, no, let's get her on here.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the lessons to all of us is that, oh no, yeah, we can do it, but that's not the intention. And I think when we shared, and thankfully Mama Dawn caught it on video, you reminded all of us we can be much better teachers, we can be much better mentors, we can give opportunity where oftentimes we have demanding jobs, but it's easier just to hop on and do it. Well, actually, it's probably more impactful if we take the time, albeit it seems like sometimes we don't have that kind of time, to teach and to mentor and to give opportunity. And I love it when, and actually I think it was Michelle Smith when she hopped on, the ESPN commentator, when she hopped on to drag the field, and I think it was Amy Fowley there, and Michelle's like, what if I mess it up? And Amy's like, well, we'll fix it. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
And I think, Liz, that's maybe what you just shared. Like all of us made you brave to the point where you weren't going to mess up because we had your back.
Yeah, it was definitely that feeling.
Yeah. So what was your favorite part of what you got to do there?
That was my question for both of you.
Oh, God.
Oh.
I think Mighty actually asked me this question, and I could not think of an answer in the moment.
You still haven't given an answer?
Well, I did then, but I think it's changed a little bit.
Okay, post-event, being able to think about it, what's your favorite thing?
Cleaning the bases.
Oh my gosh.
It was just so enjoyable. Like, I think I texted Miller after and I was like, I've never missed cleaning bases so much. Like, it was just fun because like in between the stuff where we were in front of everyone, it was like a secret little spot in the back where, why are you laughing? No reason. A secret spot in the back where like I could just do the work and like no one needed to know. And it was just nice. But like with everything else, it was like on a bigger scale where I had to, like, even if I failed, like I was still thinking about it more. And it's just something that I could like relax and think about everything we just did while cleaning bases.
It wasn't meeting your idol. Meeting all the other people that are incredible. Meeting Kelly.
You asked for my
You never shut up about any of them now. And it's bases. You're like, Miller, check out this WhatsApp. I did this.
Yeah.
What about you, Kelly? What was your favorite part about all of it?
I love it. I think this is pretty cool. It helps us reflect. Andrew, again, can't thank you enough and what you're doing to promote all of this. But I think that I always say after these events, and I actually have had the privilege to be at all of them, and I don't think that I truly comprehend what that will mean as I reflect on it as the years go by. But I think that the biggest gift is just the connection. And I'm a big connector. I'm a big bridge builder. I've spent most of my personal and professional life I call it a Sherpa, helping people get where they're going. And when you help someone get where they're going, and especially if you help somebody climb a mountain, you find yourself near the summit also too. And so I think for me, these moments that are now captured, and I have an elderly aunt that I send all these things to, and she called me yesterday, and it was so cool to see it through her lens. And my dad would be so proud, and he's passed. But there's these layers of unexpected. Like I said, I use the sunblock example often, but because that what the emotion that it evokes, the fact that I've seen it in my career, and then I always say I cannot wait to see what happens next. And I think this is a perfect moment that you and Liz and I get to be here together, because I get to see what happens next. I'm looking right at her, and the connections that she has now. And not to mention, I had great mentors, most of them, 99% of them men, and they were absolutely life-changing for me because they believed in me. But at the same time, I think, Liz, I am looking at what the future holds, right? There's a whole new, and I would say the same for Julie and Megan and Bryn and Holly, and I'm missing one, Snap and Chat. Did I get everybody?
Megan, Haley,
thank you. And
Chat, I don't know which one it is.
Yeah. And so, but the gift that you give all of us is we can see what happens next. And I am so excited, not only for you and what endeavors you choose to pursue, but also just knowing that you're connected to a network of personal and professional mentors that will help any way we can. And I think when I look back on a day like today, or back on the things that we've done these last couple of years, it does get overwhelming. Where's that ding sunblock guard? Because
glasses that just
yeah, just because we don't really know what's coming. But I can tell you this, I can't wait to see what's happening next. Here you are, Liz, and I get to be the one that is interviewed with you, and then and to see how we move forward. And I think for me personally, I'm not ready to retire, but when I do, I will be able to look back on all these opportunities and the things that happened that really changed the course of, and to quote, I think it's Mama Dawn and Son, herstory in the making.
Yep.
And we're right in the middle of it. And I really can't wait to see what happens next. And I can't.
You're still going to be around when you retire. We all know.
Yeah. Oh no, no. Don't think. I'm going to just.
Kelly's gone anywhere. Okay.
Oh, no. You're
Yeah.
going to be invited to everything.
Well, thank you.
Your schedule's going to be even more busy.
Even busier, right? Thank you. And I appreciate that. But I'm just proud. I'm so proud and so thankful.
Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time today. We're going to wrap up with this last question that we've always asked when it comes to, again, somebody like Liz or Dakota, or somebody who is going to be taking that next step. Again, not specifically into the turf industry, but just next step in their life out of high school. What would be your best words of advice for them moving forward, and why?
It actually, my best word. Well, here, I'll do it this way. My wish for you is that your dreams stay big and your worries stay small. I dare you to live. And whatever that looks like, that was
no sunblock. It's fine.
Yeah, no sunblock. But that actually was the gift that my dad, Luck, God rest his soul. I was so busy, and I had been coaching Division I athletics for a long time. My peanut butter was pretty empty. And during that time, those were his words of wisdom to me. And it came more, and he kind of had this gruff voice and said, "Honey, I dare you to live." And I'm like, "Dad, why didn't you ever say anything?" And he's like, "You're so damn busy, you could never hear me." And I could hear him at that point because he had been diagnosed with lung cancer and was going to pass. And I had the privilege to be there so that he could stay at home most of that time. And it was the only time in my career that I had taken kind of a break of any kind. And we had just missed, it's a long story, but I had just finished coaching. I was coaching a professional golfer, and we had just missed the cut for the PGA Tour. Another bucket list thing for me. But had we not missed that cut, had I not been able to go home, I probably would have missed that. So my wish for you is that your dreams stay big and your worries stay small. That's actually an excerpt from a Rascal Flatts song. And then I dare you to live and enjoy the journey. Absolutely.
Name of the song.
My wish. Yeah.
It's a phenomenal song. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Kelly, for everything, all the way back to the women's luncheon and just having such a positive impact on my kids' lives. And I cannot thank you for that.
Yes.
Thank you, Dialed. I think I might have come across one while we were in our conversation here, but I kind of like Dialed Drew. You're dialed.
All right, I will take it.
I kind of dig it because
All
you're
right.
so dialed, right?
I
Liz,
like
you
that.
like it?
Yeah.
All right, here on Tiger Turf Talk, you
Dialed.
heard it here. It's going to be posted.
Right there. Dialed Drew. Right there.
Dialed.
Well, thank you so much for everything,
Yeah.
as always. Looking forward to seeing you in Utah. Is it Utah?
Yep. Yeah.
Are you going to be down in the Carolina show by chance?
Well, I'm working on it. And a shout out to Tim Krieger with inviting all the gals. He's also a Clemson brother, and so I used to go to that show all the time. So if it works, my schedule's a little crazy around that time, but if it works, I will absolutely be Carolinas this year. And then of course the SFMAs to watch our very own Sunrose line be inaugurated as a female, or as the SFMA president. Yeah. So super proud of Sun.
We got the new nickname for just the year, El Prez. You know.
We'll say that again.
We'll have to have her nickname for the year, El Prez.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Second nickname for her. Yep.
Yeah. Love that.
Well, again, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
All right. Thanks, y'all. Strong work. Proud of you, Liz.
Bye. Thank you.
I dare you to live.